Welcome to the Performance Enhancing Podcast. It's like steroids for your brain. A podcast for people that want the best info, but just don't have the time. Get your podcast fix with the Cliff Notes versions of your favorite podcasts. No fluff, just the actionable golden nuggets. Having this much knowledge at your fingertips should be downright illegal. So get ready for another dose of Performance Enhancing Podcast with Satori Prime. Here's your host, Ilan Ferdman.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Performance Enhancing Podcast. Today, we are looking at part 2 of my interview with Christian Smith, the man that turned a $20,000 goal into nearly $900,000. Again, 20,000 goal to 900,000. Not to mention, he also created one of the coolest products out today for keeping your stuff in check. In other words, never lose your keys, your wallet, your glasses, your bike, ever again. So we ended part 1 kind of on a cliffhanger where Christian was about to tell us what were the number one things that had him lead to such a crowdfunding success. He's failed, or, not failed, but had 3 other, let's call them lackluster performances. Why did this one shoot out the gate? Also, we cover what things he learned that he would repeat and what he would not do again. And then he actually told us what he does to create his products, his process of learn, sell, build, measure. Plus, we talk about a little more about mindset, how he got started, etc. So if you haven't listened to part 1, make sure you go back and do that, and then enjoy part 2. Have an amazing day, everyone.
So we definitely, have an audience that's interested in the product, and we think that this industrial design is something that people are really interested in. Just a single, sheet of aluminum that wraps around, the circuit board and makes it very, very thin. That's always been kind of a big thing for our customers. Is you have something that's thick and chunky, then people aren't so apt to, put it on everything. But now that it's, the size of, it's just 3 millimeters thick, right? That's like stacking 2 credit cards on top of each other. It's tiny. And that's something that people are very interested in. Mm-hmm. So I'd say the first thing is industrial design. The second is, we really wanted to reward people for, helping us promote the product to their friends. Okay. And so we set up a referral program. If one, refers 5 people to the campaign, then they get free, they get to choose their colors for free. If anyone refers a friend and they purchase, then we'll add an extra device to their order.
Interesting.
So those types of, promotional strategies, and really giving people the tools that they need to help promote the product was, I think, a real key. And then the third thing was just maintaining a really good relationship through consistent email updates with our backer, and making sure that they understood what was going on with the campaign, what we were working on. We're always sending them updates on, our ability to, what the latest engineering developments, right? How we're able to reduce the size by about 20%. And that was, a big win. So we wanted everyone else to know.
The people that crowdfund you, do you have access to email them right away?
So the way that Indiegogo works is, we can send them emails through Indiegogo.
Okay.
And they can choose to opt in or opt out. But we found that, most people are interested in understanding what's going on because they just, helped us help fund the project.
Mm-hmm. Can you take them off of Indiegogo and send them to a landing page and somehow get their information?
I think that, we'll be working with them to, we'll be sending them, like a spreadsheet to say, hey, what colors do you want? Or, and finding out, how we can fulfill their order later on. But yeah, we do have the ability to communicate to those customers regarding their order.
Okay. So now if you were to Do you guys have, I don't know if you want to let it out of the bag, and I know this one's new, but do you guys have something in the pipeline that you're working on, like the next kind of project?
Yeah, we do. And there's a few things that we're working on that we'll be launching in Q3.
Okay, cool.
And then our big kind of announcements are always made at the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas in January of 2015. So,
does Christian show up wearing a black turtleneck with a big screen behind him?
that would be awesome. I would definitely. I'll rock the
now
black
announcing
for my next presentation.
That would be awesome. Not that Christian looks like Steve Jobs by any means. Okay, so say Q3, you're launching this new thing. Let's talk both sides. One, what's something that you're going to do in the next round that you're definitely going to repeat? And what's something that even with this success, you're like, oh, we should have done that better, or we're never going to do that again?
So for the next campaign,
the next campaign,
we'll definitely be kind of continuing to do these, these updates, and I think that those have been an important part of helping people understand that they can share the campaign, they can get free colors, and they can get a free device. We even offered the person who refers the most people to the campaign, they get a free trip to Santa Barbara, and they're going to be able to have dinner with us and meet us, and then we'll take them surfing and do some fun Santa Barbara activities. So I think that those types of ways of connecting with the audience are really great, and we'll need to do those. We on the next campaign, I think that content is really king. So making sure that all the content that we're producing is really high quality, and I think that's an improvement that we'll be making over the next campaign as our team continues to grow.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that I think most people turn to as far as like content promo, Dollar Shave Club, like those style, just kind of funny viral videos that people just really, really connect with, have always been amazing. I mean, your video is very descriptive. The Coolest also had, I mean, what I've noticed, the good campaigns definitely have some really high quality video that's very intriguing, and people end up sharing literally just a video. Like, I mean, that one and the two recent ones, that one and the solar panel, like the, solar panel streets and stuff, have been just like videos that people are sharing left and right, whether they're investing or not.
Yeah, and that's a huge part of creating a successful campaign is creating those viral loops that allow people to see something, get excited about it, and then have a good outlet to let their friends know, or maybe in the vein of the Coolest, right? Someone who's always going camping, right? If I saw that video, I definitely send that to my friends who love camping as well. And in our case, we see that everyone knows that person who's late because they can't find their keys, or there's those we all have those friends and family members.
And you're like, you have to see this video. Yeah, that's amazing. Okay, cool. So that's that. Let's switch gears a bit and talk about how you choose your next product. Because now you basically have a fan base who's told you we like X, we like Y, et cetera, et cetera. How do you guys go about now brainstorming what's next? And how do you use your fan base, I guess, to give you that?
Yeah, so I mean, we do a series of customer interviews. I mean, the idea is to kind of use that use a design cycle that starts with learning, and then from there, you go straight into selling. And then after you sell, then you build that product, get it out to the consumer, and really measure. So that first step of learning is to based on what you have or the the information that's out there, ask the customer tons of questions. And it's important how those questions are asked so that you're not influencing the results.
So give me an example.
Sure. So if you have a TrakR Bravo customer, right? We get this in people's hands. Then we ask them, what are the ways that or what are the things that you put this on? If it was half the size, would you put it on other things? How would we what would we do to the device that would make it better? Or if it was a third of the size, right? What would you put it on? And really finding out, kind of what are the features of the device that they like and don't like, and figuring out how to improve those. Another part of our learning is going to be, physical, testing, right? And getting it in customers' hands, and how many people are smashing this thing with a hammer, right? And to make it, hammer proof, as well as how many people want it to be waterproof, and things like that are all considerations.
Do you ever ask questions from a marketing angle, like what do you use this on the most, and have people rate it, so you kind of know from a marketing standpoint, like who you could be talking about the most?
Yeah, we definitely are really interested in talking to customers about their use cases, and we actually get a lot of feedback through our customer support department on what are the top use cases, and what's not working for certain use cases, so that we can understand how to improve that user experience.
Interesting. Okay.
So once we've kind of done some learning, then we go into sell mode, right? We make those changes, we come up with a really quick prototype, and then we see, okay, with these changes, what will people purchase it, and put it in front of that customer, and see if they'll actually purchase. And crowdfunding is a really great way to do that. So once we've got that customer validation, once we know people are really excited about that new product or new features, that then we build, and that allows us to have a really kind of defined specifications on people will pay for X, right? People will pay for people want like, versus plastic to metal, people will pay X dollars more for a metal device. And so it's a really clear kind of value proposition that we can deliver, and we define all the design constraints that we need to make that product successful on an economic kind of basis.
Yeah. What happens to the people that bought the old one, and then you come out with a sick new design? They have to buy like all the new trackers?
Yeah, typically, we will give them a discount. I mean, they've, been there and helped us out from the beginning. So we definitely, don't want them to feel left out of the roadmap. And typically, we're asking those new customers and letting them know, the product's going to come out. And I think for TrakR Bravo, we let everybody know that backed us in the first 24 hours that they would get a free device. And those were all our initial customers.
Got it. That's awesome. So we did learn, sell, build. Last piece is?
Measure, right? Once all this stuff goes out into the market, how do we actually measure what's working and what's not working? Typically, in that sell phase, you established a hypothesis that you're testing, and then to make sure that that hypothesis stays true, that people like the metal device more than they like the plastic device is really important. So maybe for TrakR Bravo, we want to make sure that people, like one thing that we'll test is, do people like how it wears, right? When the device kind of continues to be in their hands, is that a good experience, and how can we improve that?
How do you measure all that stuff?
Lots of customer surveys, and then also our support department. If we're getting requests back, like, hey, I don't like, maybe. So a good example would be the wallet tracker. The wallet tracker had this little, battery tray that would kind of come loose sometimes. So we changed the mold because the batteries would come out. So little things like that.
So you learn a lot from your audience. Do you guys ever do, like, when you launch something new, do you ever have what are they called? Like the groups that meet?
Focus groups.
Focus groups. Yeah.
We love going to Starbucks and giving people free coffee to, try the device or set it up. And it's a really, casual environment, and people don't, they'll give you really honest feedback. We found that that's a really good setting to talk to customers.
That's genius, especially for those, because there's also a software component to the product, right? Like setting it up, syncing it, et cetera, right?
Exactly. Yeah, I kind of I can show you the app right there. So right now I'm tracking my computer that I'm talking on, and I've also got my wallet and my keys right here. So if I can't find something, you can press a button, and it's going to beep your thing. I don't know if you can hear that. And if you can't find that thing, then it remembers where on a map you left your stuff, so you can really quickly locate it.
Wow!
And what we're really excited about is our crowd GPS network, and what that is, it allows. So say I leave my wallet at the restaurant, it falls out of my pocket and slips between the crack of the booth. I don't have it with me. I walk out and it's noisy. I'm not reminded that I left it behind. And I'm just, walking down the street not knowing that I don't have my wallet. Well, if another TrakR app user walks by the restaurant, then their phone will see that device and then anonymously and confidentially let me know, oh, hey, it's 8:43 and we just saw your wallet right here. So
because their device will communicate with yours.
Exactly.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that crowd GPS network is really exciting because we're seeing it grow very quickly. And so, we want to create that kind of loss prevention network. It's like a lost and found network where everyone is helping each other find those lost things. And we've been really successful at getting some bikes back that were stolen. So
amazing.
Somebody took a bike and we were able to find it after the bikes were taken.
Based on this crowd GPS thing.
Yeah. We just put a little sticker tracker under the seat, and then a few days later popped up on a map, and we went to the house where it was stolen and just asked if we could get our bike back.
Wow.
It's kind of hard to say, I'm making that bike that you found beep from an app. Can I have my thing? And so it's a really useful kind of network. I think it can really change how. Hopefully, we can disrupt like a bike lock industry, right? If everything is just so safe that we don't have to worry about things getting stolen, I think that's a pretty good world to live in.
That's kind of like the defy gravity thing.
Yeah. So the personal goals are with Phone Halo. It's defined time, and I realized I'm saving myself 10 to 15 minutes every single day. And the average American is spending about 15 minutes searching for their keys, trying to find a remote. Where's the iPad? Where's my phone? So that adds up to over 100 hours every single year for all the people in this country. What could you do with 100 hours a year?
Wow.
It's kind of, mind blowing if we all, chose to, maybe read a book for 15 minutes or, enjoy like connecting with our family for 15 minutes. There's a pretty big trade-off that a system like this is able to give people. And so that's how, we're kind of defying time and people's experience of time.
I love that. That's so brilliant. It's I was actually just listening to, do you know Ari Meisel or Ben Greenfield?
Yeah, I know Ben.
Okay. They just did a podcast and Ari's like an efficiency expert. And he was talking about like all these little things, like, people say they send out a tweet and then they have to go and do that same thing in Facebook, right? And then they have to go and do that. So there's that website, IFTT.com. And he was like, look, anything that you do for a minute, when you aggregate that over time, it's like the same thing you do every time. So I just love the fact that, unless you're so organized, which most people are not, and you're actually doing that action of like, okay, where's my phone? Where's my wallet? Where's my keys? And that's your routine. Like even getting to work and then just having that downtime to like sit and enjoy your coffee for most people versus like running in like a store and be like, oh my God, what happened? I couldn't find this, It's just beautiful. I love that.
How many phone numbers do you have memorized?
Let's talk about how many I had when I was like 12.
Exactly. Before we had cell phones, we put all those numbers in our brains and we remembered them. And we're doing the same thing with the physical location of your stuff.
Amazing.
It's, we're just taking that mental CPU, all that time and energy that you're thinking about those things, and we're allowing you to think about something else and use that time for whatever you want.
Yeah, there's a concept that a lot of like the top minds in the world say that you have only like a fuel tank of only a certain amount of juice to make decisions in your day. And every decision you make, so like people like Steve Jobs, they always wore the same outfit because that was one less thing they needed to compute in the morning. So just imagine if all these people now got rid of that extra computation where they could take that juice and actually make a profound difference in the world versus like waste your 10, 15 minutes looking for something. It's like ridiculous. It's so funny. I think these things, when they become the norm, will all be like, how did we ever deal with that before? Like you said with the numbers, it was never an issue for me before, like remembering numbers. But now that I only remember maybe 2 or 3, I'm like, God, I've like freed up RAM to do other stuff. It does cause issues though with the numbers, because when your phone has you lose your phone or you have no service, you're like, shit, I don't know who to call.
I know it does. It's a trade-off, right? Mm-hmm. And it allows you to be more effective. But I think that it's important to make sure that we are in charge of our tools and our tools are in charge of us.
Interesting. So, okay. Can you leak what's coming next? Can you tease us? No. He's like no.
I would love to, but we're not close enough. So maybe what we can do is we can give you and the Satori Prime audience a little tickle when we get closer to launching something.
Yeah, we'd love that. And awesome. By the way, guys, in the resources, so satoriprime.com/podcasts, just look for the Christian Smith episode. I'll put all the resources of how you can find their campaign right now on Indiegogo. Christian, is there anywhere else that people can connect with you guys and follow you guys?
If you come to TrakR.com, right now we're doing a free giveaway of devices.
Cool.
So if you want to try out TrakR, we'd love for you to come and sign up. And then you can also purchase one of the sticker or wallet trackers. If you're interested in following us, we're on Facebook and Twitter. So if you search Facebook for sticker tracker or wallet tracker. It's TrakR, and we lost the E at the end, so TRACKR.
We lost the E.
Yeah.
If you had a tracker on it, you wouldn't have lost it, buddy.
No, but those vowels are kind of tricky.
Okay, so we end every podcast when we interview by asking this question. Well, first of all, do you mind telling me how old you are?
I'm 28.
Oh my God, that's amazing. Wow. Mind blown. You started this project when you were how old?
When I was, let's see, I was 22 or 23.
Wow.
I started working on it when I was 22.
Wow. That is impressive, Christian. It's a lot of balls to step out there and take your first idea and make it this kind of a reality. That's amazing.
Yeah, I actually interacted with one of the people who inspired that aha moment yesterday, and I remember sitting in my freshman engineering design class and having a group of students who came in, and they invented this oxygen supply unit that helped grandma with emphysema breathe better. And I saw one of the founders of that company yesterday, and she has recently taken the company public, and it was really exciting to tell her, yeah, I remember when I saw you guys present this idea and realized I want to be a part of a small design team that's making products that are changing the world. So it was a cool experience to kind of see it come full circle.
Amazing. All right, so let's ask this. So it hasn't been that long, but imagine, the cliche, if I only knew then what I know now. So think back to, you can do whatever, 8 years, 10 years, 15 years, whatever it is. But what's something you wish you would have known what you know today, like, 8, 10, whatever years ago? It can be business, it can be personal, it can be literally anything.
Yeah, that's a really good question. I think that I would have loved to have known a little bit more about how powerful social media was going to be.
Wow.
And invested more time in just understanding how that whole system works. I think that that would have been what I would have told 2008 Christian, who was green as grass, raw as sushi, and just graduating college.
Raw as sushi, I love that. That's great. Here, Satori Prime is like big. We're kind of like, I guess, in the top echelon of Facebook marketers. So really know social media well. And I have to tell you, and even seeing what's transpired over the last 3 or so years, I think we're just scratching the surface of where social media is going. I still think it's one of these tools that people quite haven't figured out. When you think about it, internet in general is very infant. I think people like you and other people who are going to start merging how to use social media in a profound way. I think what social media has given us is access to a whole lot of people. But I think what I've noticed now, it's starting to come back more to the local. I think social media, where it's going to go, is actually connect us. And I love that you do the group GPS. It's connecting the locals in a way that we didn't have that connection before. Or maybe we did back in the day, and then we lost it. And I feel like it's going to come back. There's a lot of things happening where people are starting to connect with people more locally. So it's like you're using the social network to then create real connections, not just like these fake, like I have 7,000 friends of whom I speak to 10.
Yeah. I think that Uber and Lyft and Airbnb are great examples of social network being used in that way.
Couchsurfing, that Yeah. I didn't know this. Some guy told me that there's couchsurfing parties where like people that couch surf and people that host couch surfers have these parties every once in a while, and they like actually get together, and it's a very like-minded group of people, right? Like very nomadic, hanging out. So that's the kind of stuff that I hear more and more, and I think it's very cool that it's going that way. Well, Christian, is there anything else you wanted to share with the listeners?
Sure. Yeah. I've got a little deck of kind of SlideShare deck of tips for, how to successfully crowdfund a project.
Wow.
I'd love to, share that info with you guys.
Absolutely.
And make sure that, you understand a little bit about the mechanics. So yeah, I'll make sure to send you some links to some really helpful information that will be able to take, the whole crowdfunding process and break it down into a series of actionable steps that you can really, get into, you just sink your teeth into and wrap your mind around and actually execute. I think that, taking these big projects and distilling it down into little actionable steps is so key in being successful in getting ideas and products into the world.
That's amazing. I mean, personally, I would love to take a look at that. Like I told you, I know so many people, and personally with just ideas, and sometimes the mountain is so large. And I know for me, like when I teach students, it's always break down that mountain to like one little step at a time. And then next thing you know, you're up the mountain. But for me, with this whole world, I literally look at it and I'm like, oh, I don't know where to start. So that deck would be amazing. Awesome. We'll definitely share that, guys, on the resource page. Again, satoriprime.com/podcasts, and look for the Christian Smith episode. Christian, this has been an absolute education for me. A world that I really know very, very little about. And I hope that what the listeners take away, aside from you being, someone that's passionate and out there literally changing the world through technology, which I think is amazing. I just hope that they get to see that they too have that ability and actually can take these ideas and through crowdfunding now put these great ideas that have just been sitting on the shelf for so long and make them a reality. I really hope that that's what people are kind of left with. So thank you so much, my friend. Any last words?
You're welcome. Yeah, thank you so much for having me. It's a really exciting time to be able to bring products into the world that just don't exist today, and have them exist tomorrow. I think that's really fantastic. Yeah. So I hope that anybody with a crowdfunding idea goes out and starts talking to people, really learns that there is interest in their idea. And then, takes that and then sells it and then builds it. I think there's nothing really preventing you from doing it in this type of an ecosystem. Money is not an option with crowdfunding. Yeah,
it's so true. I feel like people, that's the number one hurdle for people, followed by maybe time. But like once you get rid of that huge hurdle, then the rest is kind of will fall into place. So guys, have huge ideas and look at this deck and learn how to do this on your own and actually share these amazing ideas with the world. All right, everyone, till we speak again, till we speak again, have an amazing day, and I'll see you on the next Performance Enhancing Podcast. Bye, everyone.
Thank you for joining us on this week's Performance Enhancing Podcast. We've taken this pep talk and created a custom action guide so you know exactly what action steps to take now to grow your business. Just head over to satoriprime.com/podcast and download it for free. Also, please leave a comment and rate this podcast on iTunes. It'll help us get the word out. Thanks for listening. Now, go and implement. We'll see you next time.